Hi there, I'm Bradley Olson. I'm an independent filmmaker from Salt Lake City, Utah, and I really love how new technologies and innovations make my job easier. That's actually why I like Final Cut Pro. It was released in 1999 and it became a really popular video editing application. It was even used in Hollywood. And then in 2011, Apple released a completely new version that upset a lot of people because it was so radically different. Apple threw out traditional concepts like tracks and bins in favor of something they thought would be more appropriate moving forward. So I wanted to know, why did Apple decide to make this change, and why are so many people resistant to it? These are the questions I want to answer in my documentary, Off the Tracks.
The main arguments that I heard a lot of people talking about was frustration about they had built whole companies based on infrastructure that now was obsolete.
The pushback was more of an emotional reaction. It was really a more visceral, I don't want to learn something else. Why did you create this thing for me?
I could go from here to here and be okay, and from here to here and be okay, and then from 7 to Final Cut 10, I'm like, why don't I understand this?
Well, I think everybody was expecting Final Cut Pro 8. So when Final Cut Pro 10 came out, it was quite a big shock.
And I think that's the first mistake Apple made, is they didn't actually describe and convey to the users, this is not a product for today's average editor.
It's been about a year since I reached out to Sam Messman and I told him my idea for this documentary. Sam Messman has become a hub of the Final Cut community, and he agreed to reach out to everybody that I wanted to interview.
You have to be a little bit crazy to be using Final Cut 10. It's attracted a far more interesting community around it.
As it turned out, most of the people I wanted to interview were going to be at the Final Cut Pro 10 Creative Summit in the fall. This is the place where serious Final Cut users gather to learn from each other. So I packed up my gear and headed out there to roll cameras. I am making the trip across the country to Cupertino, California, because I wanted to make a documentary to clear up some misconceptions about Final Cut Pro 10.
There were a few little things that they liked in the app, that they really liked in the app, like kept them coming back to it.
Since then, I've picked up interviews in Los Angeles and San Francisco. I even got the opportunity to sit down with the creator of Final Cut Pro 10 himself, Randy Ubilos. He started creating tools in the 90s, like Premiere and the original Final Cut Pro, that have had a huge impact on my life. I've shot well over 30 interviews, and we're currently deep into the editing process, but we still need more help. Our goal is to raise funds in order to help us get a killer soundtrack over the entire documentary, buy additional stock footage, and put the final polish on the completed film. We also have stretch goals to help us share this with storytellers throughout the entire world. I invite you to check out the rewards as our thank you for your contribution. We have some really cool stuff, like t-shirts and stickers, an advanced download of the movie, an invite to the premiere, passes to the Creative Summit, and even a poster autographed by Randy Ubilos. Thanks for checking out our Kickstarter, and we hope you enjoy Off the Tracks.